friends, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, hello, my name is Mika. Thank you so much for stopping in. Let's have a heart-to-heart conversation about helping people who are addicted to anything. Addicted to substances, addicted to drugs, addicted to pornography, addicted to sex, just addicted to something that is not healthy for them, and something that you can see is causing pain or it's causing some type of negative thing in their lives. How do you help with that? So first off, I want to say that this video was encouraged by one of my lovely followers. Thank you so much. I'm not going to go into detail about the email or who it was from, not giving any pronouns, none of that, because it's none of y'all business. I didn't give permission to share it. So we're just going to talk about the topic. So in the email, it was just about how to help with someone who is suffering from an addiction. And you know that they need help, but they're for some reason not accepting that they need help. They think they're normal. What do you do in that situation? Well, my advice as an LSW, I am a licensed social worker. And just from the medical field, I'm also a certified medical assistant. So from my perspectives, from my understandings of addiction, and from, just witnessing it, and also being a person who has survived addiction myself, not drug addiction, but, I have had times where I use alcohol to help me to escape the world, to help me to escape pains that I didn't realize that I was having from my childhood. And I was, like I said, in my younger 20s. That's when I was acting up out here, y'all. But I was just trying to figure life out, and I thought it was normal. I wasn't drinking to the point where I would be labeled as an alcoholic, but I was drinking enough where it was unhealthy. And even though I wasn't a hard liquor drinker, I was more of the wine and, a sweet drink type of thing. It still was alcohol, and it still was unhealthy. You don't need alcohol to survive. You know what I'm saying? It's not healthy for you. But I was young and I didn't really see what I was doing was wrong. I didn't see a problem with it because I wasn't doing it to get drunk, to go out and nothing like that. I would just have a drink literally to help me relax and go to sleep. And if I poured a half of a glass of wine and I didn't finish it, just the thought of me just sipping on it till I fell asleep, to me, that was like, that's just the way that I, nightcap. And that was just unhealthy. So having an understanding of that, and addicted to tarot at one point, like I told y'all, I shared my story. That addiction, just consumed me. It was not healthy, and it was totally against my religious beliefs. And I knew it wasn't right, but for some reason I was just so consumed by it. Like I needed my fix, like several times a day, watching tarot, listening to astrology. I was just so consumed and washed up in it. Like it was like a part of me. You knew me. I was talking about astrology. I was talking about, what's your zodiac sign. I was just like, oh, this is what tarot says is going to happen for me. I was just addicted to that, and, a lot of times we don't realize that those are addictions as well. We just see addictions. Oh, you're on drugs. Oh, you're an alcoholic. You're addicted. But there are so many other addictions. Like I mentioned, there's pornography addiction, there's astrology, tarot addictions. There is sexaholics. Those are people that are addicted. People are addicted to money. They'll do whatever it takes to make money. They'll steal from you. Anything that you have to do that is just not healthy, is not normal, and is consuming your life could be an addiction. Sleeping too much. I'm one of those. I used to be that too, just trying to sleep the days away because I just, for whatever reason, just didn't want to deal with the day, and I've been an overeater as well. I've been an undereater. Just addicted to keeping my body a certain size and, just being so fearful of gaining weight and then eating too much because I was just addicted to just the sensation of chewing. It's just it's so much more. If we want to be real, there's a lot more things that we could be addicted to that we just think is normal, or we think it's, oh, that's just a phase you're going through. But it's really not. Addicted to love, addicted to being in relationships. You can't be alone. You just have to be with somebody because you're addicted to the feeling that you're getting from being in a relationship. You're addicted to that high. And I used to be the person that would just be addicted to that initial, like the honeymoon phase. Like I would literally just want to live that over and over. So I would start a fight or an argument, or I'm going to leave and break up just so we can go through that honeymoon phase, just over and over. Toxic. We call it toxic, and it was toxic, but it was also an addiction. And no one said that to me because no one knew that that's what that was. It was an addiction to that feeling, something that gives you a feeling of a high. That's an addiction. So let's get to it. Like, what do you do when someone is addicted in some type of way to whatever it is, and you know it, but for some reason they don't know it? Like, what's up with that? The problem is that when people are addicted to anything, they don't see their problem. They're addicted to pornography. They don't see what they're doing is harming other people. They're like, I'm not even sleeping with nobody. I'm just watching what I'm watching. Like, it's just making me feel good. This is what I do in my private time. They're addicted to drinking. They may not go out and get drunk out in the streets. They may get drunk at home. How's that bothering anybody else? They're addicted to tarot. How am I bothering anybody if I'm consuming this knowledge? You know what I'm saying? They don't see how it's affecting anyone else. So to them, they don't have a problem. So how do you help somebody who does not think that they have a problem? You really can't. And that's just the answer for you. You can't. All you can do is to avoid enabling them. You can help. It's not the same as being an enabler. You being like, let me give you some advice about this. Let me tell you how this can harm you. If they are addicted to drugs or alcohol or something, really, really serious, and you can try to get them help. Let me help you find help groups. Let me, help you set up with a therapist. Whatever it is, you can help in that way. But giving them money, no. If they're addicted to tarot, letting them come to your house and stay in a room by themselves with a TV, that's an enabler because you're not, what they're doing in that room. And if they're addicted to drinking and things, just been like, oh, well, you've been sober for a whole week, so I'll give you a glass of wine just because it's girls' night or we're with the family. We'll just have one light drink, a beer or something. That's enabling because at that point, you can trigger them to fall back into that addiction. Or if you're just like, oh, well, I will help you, like, as long as you only drink when you're at my house. Or as long as you only do whatever, XYZ, when I'm around so that I can help you, or just a little bit at a time. I'm just going to just, or not telling them the truth. You could tell them the truth and they don't have to accept what you say is true. And that's okay. But at least you're not enabling them by saying, oh, well, you're grown. You could do that. That's fine. I support you. I don't like it, but I'm not going to judge. I'm not going to, whatever. I'm just going to be here for you. That's enabling. You can tell them, I love you, but I also want for you to heal in this area. That's helping them. Also helping them is simply just by walking with them hand in hand. Let me get you some help. Let me support you by giving you a ride to therapy if that's what you need, or paying for therapy for you. But you can't make nobody do anything that they don't want to do. So beyond that, if they don't want your help, girl, get away from me, man. I don't want to hear nothing you got to say. I don't care if you're my mama, my daddy. I don't care about what you got to say. I don't believe I need help. Then at that point, all you can do is take your hands off and try not to be wrapped up in what they got going on. A lot of times as parents, we just want to save them. That's all. Even our best friends, we just want to save you. We don't want you to spiral out of control. We don't want you going down the dark alleys. We don't want you falling into the dark holes. But sometimes we have to allow that to happen. And for me, that's what happened. You know, just I noticed I was aging. Like in my early 20s, I look like if you compare what I look like now compared to what I looked like in my early 20s when I was going through things that I didn't even realize I was going through, it would be hard to believe that I was the same person. And that's the truth. You know, and once I started realizing that, and I just didn't feel myself, I just wasn't happy. That's what helped me to be like, you know, I got a problem. It wasn't nobody else telling me like, oh girl, like you need to stop doing that. That's not okay. Plus I had a lot of enablers around me because they were doing it too, you know, so we would all just click together. You know, we thought it was normal. Like, oh, let's get drunk, like, you know, or let's drink, or, you know, whatever. That was fun to us back then. Like, oh, well, we'll just sit and just have a drink and just talk. Always a drink had to be involved. And that was the problem. Enabling. And so a lot of that just hid away from my family because I knew there's going to be like, you don't need to be drinking. Like, why are you drinking? That's not you. Like, don't do that or whatever. And I didn't want to hear it. So yes, I did hide a lot of things from my family for that reason. But around my friends, they were enabling because they didn't see anything wrong because they also was drinking too. So it was like, what's the problem? And then with tarot, that was one of the things I kind of hid from everybody because I started getting consumed in it so much. I was like, oh my goodness, you know? So with that, it wasn't until things started happening in my life that I know it was because God wasn't happy with what I was doing. And then that's what woke me up a lot. And it was really hard, but I had to pull myself out of it. I had to start rewiring my mind, praying more and cutting off all the things that can give me easy access to it. Like, you know, if I was following a lot of tarot. So I had to go ahead and block all those. I had astrology coming to my emails. I had to block all those, you know, just all that kind of stuff to kind of reset me. So then I would not be tempted to go back. And it took a long time. And I fell a couple of times. I got back up. I fell a couple more times. I got back up, but I had to keep doing it until it was out of me. I had to trust God, and I also had to have an accountability partner. So I had to tell friends who I trusted to not judge, but to be like, hey girl, you're not watching that stuff, right? You say you wasn't gonna watch that. Stay off of that. And then it kind of helped keep me accountable for whatever decisions I was making. At the end of the day, the biggest point I'm trying to make is that you can't change anybody, can't make anybody. I know you want to so desperately. You want to help them to see what they're doing is harming them or harming other people, because it does bleed onto you. When you love those people, when you're connected to them and their addiction is taking over their lives, you do want to help because it's hurting you too to watch it. And I get that. But you can't help anybody until they want to be helped. All you can be is a support system. That's it. Support, not enable. Meaning, again, you're not going out and buying them packs of alcohol. You're not giving them money when you know that they can spend it on drugs. You're not bringing a whole bunch of females or males around when you know they're addicted to sex and all this kind of stuff. Like, we have to be logical here. So that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to share my point of view as far as actually helping someone who has an addiction. You can't. You just can support. And I know that's tough to hear, but until they realize and accept that they have a problem, there's nothing that you can do or say that's going to make them accept and see it. They have to do it on their own. And a lot of times they have to, something bad has to happen, or what they would consider bad. Don't have to be terrible. It could just be something bad. You know, maybe they'll have one too many drinks and throw up and don't like the taste of their own vomit. And they're like, oh, I'm not doing that no more. And it may make them like, I don't want to drink no more. You know, it could be that simple for some people. Or it could be, you know, they're living on the streets now, or they're realizing like all my money's going towards drugs or alcohol or going to the strip club or whatever. And they're like, I don't want to live this life no more. You know, it could be that, or it could be something more serious, going to jail or being homeless for a long time, or, you know, catching an STD. Like it could be something has to happen, and we're not in control of that. But sometimes that's what it takes. All you can do is just pray for them, support them, and be there for them, but not try to control their life. You can let them know how you feel, but you cannot be like, oh, you need to change this for me because you're hurting me. If you make it all about you, that's not going to help. you can let them know, like, hey, this hurts me when you do this because I love you and I want for you to, and then elaborate about how them changing this behavior will benefit them. Don't make it all about you. Anyway, so that's all I have to say. Y'all let me know what you think in the comment box below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Of course, there's other people like myself reading your comments, so please be polite and courteous in the comment box. If you want to discuss something more in private or do like this other person did and send an email just discussing things, I'll chat with you back. And I'm so sorry to that person. I had been locked out of my emails for a little bit, but your girl got back in. I'm back in. So I'm back in there. I seen the email really late, but I promise y'all I'm gonna be back on it. Your girl was tripping, but I'm back in there. So yes, send me an email if you like, and I promise I will respond to you, or I'll do a video for you, whatever you like, especially if it's something I could talk about. Just let me know if you want me to share it. You can leave a testimony. I can share the testimony for you. You can just share it with me and we can talk about it there. If you need a prayer or anything, let me know. I'll pray for you. But beyond that, I pray that the rest of your week goes well. Remember, God loves you, Jesus loves you, I love you, and you should be loving yourself. Y'all have a blessed and wonderful week, and we'll talk next Thursday. Bye.